Hey Neppers, it's me, Wild Neptune, and in this Epic 7 video, going over some of the changes and updates that are going to happen in the next patch update. Not going over everything, there is a lot of stuff we already went over. Before that though, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and catch me at Twitch, at twitch.tv/WildNeptune. So here is the new, updated Mercedes. So, a surprise to a lot of people, once you beat Episode 3, and you get this item right here, which does mean you do have to open up the AP shop. So if you're not already farming your trust for Policia, you will have to do that too, in addition to getting Episode 3 done. You unlock a special stage, and once you beat the stage, you'll get a new buff called Immense Power. So it increases your attack by 15%, and revives with 50% health after receiving lethal damage. Can apply once per battle, and unaffected by effects related to buffs. It also removes the extra damage received. So here's the new model. We have a larger image, and as you see here, she got buffed quite a bit. And you also get a 5-star artifact. It will come at max enhanced. The only thing enhancing the artifact does is give you more stats, which might actually be important overall. Because these are a lot of stats, right? Like, don't sneeze at, like 170 attack, right? And like 650 health, right? That's significant. But anyway, what it does, decreases damage suffered from a critical hit by 25%. So like a stronger Draco plate, basically. And when more than one damage reduction effect is granted, of course, defense artifacts don't stack. And if an ally is attacked when it's not the caster's turn, has a 15% chance to activate Dimensional Rupture, I believe is what it's called, and that is her S2. And as we know, what her S2 does is, when it's buffed, it's going to be an AoE that has a 70% chance, with Molas, to strip an enemy buff, and if there are 3 or less enemies, it will attack again with less power, once per round for her, right? So, a lot of players have already been calling her kind of Arbiter Mercedes, Mercedes like red, like fire Rem, probably like a cross between the two, honestly, is maybe what it's going to be. I feel like her biggest issue are her base stats. They are really bad, and that's like, it'll be interesting to see what the balance is going to be in survivability, so she actually activates her artifact once in a while, speed, so she can get like her attack buff with the S3, and just straight up damage, because you do want to do damage with her also. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of gearing it's going to have on her, right? And then, of course, there is Selective Summon Season 2. So it works the same way as the original Selective Summon. You'll get a list of heroes here. I do have a list of the ones you can get. And at 5, at 1, 10, 20, and 30, you'll be guaranteed to get a 5-star hero. And you can record your result. So we get a hero you think you might want at, say, Summon 10. You can record that and go all the way to the end. I recommend, no matter who your first pull is, you always record that one. And then you keep recording the best ones you get until you get to the 30. So I do have a list here of the heroes in like a nice little tier list right now for a little bit easier viewing. And these are based on my opinions overall, but there are 12 heroes. It's Politis, Alencia, Ilinov, Flan, Shu, Cecilia, Senya, Evalin, what's-her-face, Kana, Edda, Euphine, and Mortelix. So let's start from the top, go to the bottom. Top is Politis, obviously. She is very PvP focused, but she is what I would consider a vital unit in PvP. She is kind of hard to use. Like, she's very good in what she does, but you have to be somewhat careful in when and how you pick her. But if you know how to do that, she is extremely powerful right now. Alencia, she's a decent pick, right? The reason why I have her over this lot right here is that current meta, Alencia will have the ability to see occasional play. She's not the best pick, but she is definitely not terrible right now. This okay. Oh yeah, and a lot of Alencia too is that she's a grass unit that can potentially get rid of things like Rem. She has defense buff, stuff like that. She can strip off buffs like the attack buff and revive maybe over Maid Chloe. So, you know, a few more like interactions that she's decent with. This okay tier, the middle one, they're all units that technically do things, but are kind of either overshadowed or aren't really quite situated that well in the meta. Like Ilyanov, despite the fact that the meta is kind of slow and bulky, she's still too slow at what she does to make a real difference. Flan is decent in cleave, but I'll be honest, nobody who's tried to cleave me this season has used Flan, right? A lot of it is that they don't really need a defense break in a lot of cleave teams. They just kill like 1 to 2 targets and then they just have too much advantage after that. Or it's that the economy of the speed gear that they can have is not enough to justify also having a Flan build too. Because if you cleave, you need like Pavel, Opsig, like Astraze, you know, like relatively fast, you know, a decent Cdom, a fast Cerise. So like a bunch of units like that. That's like 4 speed units right there. And then you're, you know, going in with another one with Flan that you may not even draft most of the time. Which is why she's kind of a lesser option, I would say, overall for the setup. And I don't think she's worth getting for PvE considerations. Shu, like, kind of is similar, not a similar thing, but they're just very strong ice DPS units in the game right now with, like, Kisei, Rem, stuff like that. And even with her EE, she's not quite doing enough in comparison. It also doesn't help that she's a lot of single target damage. Cecilia has a very loaded kit, but she's not really specialized enough to justify picking. Like, a lot of the knights that are being picked right now, where, you know, Crozet, FCC, Crow, Carmen, they're very good at doing, like, 1 or 2 things. And Cecilia is decent at doing a bunch of things, which is why things like say, Falconer Cleary, a Raz, Lilius aren't being picked that much anymore. Senya, she's a little bit too dependent on Lilius and other combinations like that too. She can kind of be okay as a maybe meme anti-Straze tech, but honestly, I have been using Fat Cat for that recently, and he's been showing up. So in this probably not tier, we have Evalin. These aren't in order, by the way. We have Evalin, who doesn't really do anything, if I'm quite honest with you, right? Kana, who is actually really good for PvE, but you can farm her in the connections, so. Edda, who, on paper, like Cecilia, should be really good, but she's just not. A little bit too much RNG in her kit, I think. And Euphine, I like Euphine. Out of all the characters on this list, she's actually my favorite one overall. But outside of some troll tech, right? She's not that great right now. And you have Mortelix, who is in unknown because he is getting buffed. And is his buff going to make him, better? I don't know. Right now, he's, probably in here somewhere, in between probably not and okay. His buff will probably push him up to, I say, good, around this level. But it's, again, I have no idea, right? If I had to guess, I would guess he'd be, here somewhere. So that's my opinion on the Selective Summon. Remember, you do have to beat episode 3 to get it. Okay, that being said, there's also a special puzzle side story. It is going to be in addition to the summer one, and it's just the mission one where, spend X energy, do X number of hunts, do X number of arenas to get these out. So just things you would do normally, only get a little bit of a bonus for it, which is very nice. New chapter of the summer side story. Yes, and we get more volleyball, and look at this very nice artwork. I am doing this at the risk of demonetization, but this is for you, the viewer, to know what's truly important in the game. Abyss 120, right? So, very good. There's also going to be a Straze emoji if you beat 120. There's going to be a equipment storage in addition to your normal inventory, which is very good. And we have some packs, and I'll go over these very quickly. And I'll give the prices based on what they were before in my memory. Episode 3, Summoning Pack. If I remember correctly, these have been 30 USD in the past. That's overpriced. Don't buy those. Episode Dash. So this will be episode 2. Heroes and Artifacts. I don't remember the list exactly, but last time when this came out, it was $10, I believe. And your first 8 summons will be 3 to 5 star heroes from episode 2. And your 9 and 10 summons here will be a 5-star hero and artifact. So you can get more than one 5-star hero or artifact, right? But your last 2 will always be a hero and an artifact, which will be random. A lot of the episode 2 heroes are actually pretty good. There are much less duds in episode 2 than in episode 1. And even episode 3, right? Because you have things that have been in the game for a while now that have already been buffed. So you have Violet, who's really strong, Vivian, who's pretty good. Lulika is really strong in like PvE content if you need her. Lilius, she's not being used right now, but her kit is too good, I think, to be bad forever. You can get things like Rowana, Elena is very good, right? So I would actually say on average there is a lot of value for $10, even if it's random. For this particular episode dash pack, I would say that the episode one you get when you're a new player is not nearly as good as this one, as long as it's priced the same, which I believe was $10. You also get this Potion of Ascension pack. I have no idea how much this is going to be. It's basically a free 6-star for any unit. So, and there's also going to be the let me see. Yes, it's this one right here. The Limited Hope pack. I believe last time we did this, which was with the Angel Frame and the Owl Pet, it was $10. $10 for 10 leaves, a cute frame, and a very cute pet, I think is a pretty good deal. Not only that, you're also giving back to a charity. So we have money to spare, and you want to do a good deed and get a little bit in return in the process. This is a pack I would heavily recommend. And finally, there is the Alencia banner, and I will briefly go over if you should pull on her or not. So we can actually take a look at my Alencia, who I do use occasionally, right? Remember, I did rate her in the good category for, what do you call it? The Selective Summon coming up. But if you have a lot of bookmarks and you want to pull Alencia, or like maybe you want to get like Politis, right? And Alencia, you can get both, right? I would say if you don't have like a Landy, it's kind of unfortunate. If you don't have like a Landy, Alencia is actually not that bad. Overall, against something like Rem. Even then, though, you probably have to ban Rem if you don't really have a Landy, a Violet. But in a pinch, for like a last pick, a lot of the times, she can do pretty decent work. She's really only a World Arena unit right now. Although there are some instances where in normal arena, like, she could be relatively helpful if you don't have something maybe like a Spectre, right? So, like, sometimes against something maybe like this. Like, this team right here, like one of these teams down here, right? Maybe taking, like, Landy, Alencia, like a MO Haste, and a Crow, something like that. This will let you maybe get a good attack on the Rem to kill her. Or maybe, like here, you'll proc the Mind's Eye from an AoE, something like that, right? Take care of her first, and then finish up the rest of the team. So things like that. Like, she's a decent choice to have in your toolbox of units. But even then, she's only a good option. She's not meta or essential. So your mileage might vary with her. Anyway, like I said, lots of exciting things coming to the game, especially this upgrade Mercedes you see right here. I hope you find this helpful. I'm Neptune. It's been a good one. Nep out.